Botha and Donnalee Roberts are South African TV and film actors, writers and producers who have been making waves in the Afrikaans movie circuit. They have written and featured in some of their projects, and this includes films such as Botha and Hart and Vir Altyd. Well, the duo is now back with yet another potential blockbuster called Stroomop. Ivan and Donna are in studio with us this morning to tell us more about this film. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us.
Now, Ivan, I'm going to start with you. This project is an adventure film, a very interesting title as well, and I want you to take us through that for someone who doesn't understand what Stroomop means.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. It's a privilege to be here. So Stroomop, metaphorically in Afrikaans, means, sort of people usually associated with somebody being difficult, against the stream or the norm, against the norm. And we wanted to challenge that with the title, and that's what the themes of the film is about, and the character's journey is all about. It's characters that are literally drowning and swimming upstream in their realities, and they're drowning in the realities as women in society and the expectations they are on women. And then they go on this epic adventure film, and they get to challenge the norms that we as society place on what a perfect mom or a perfect wife or a perfect woman should be. And so that's in a nutshell. We wouldn't necessarily call it upstream in English because, the metaphor isn't there. Yeah. So maybe something like the journey within is a little bit more.
I love that, yeah. The journey within, and it makes a lot of sense because you can't really directly translate it.
No, for sure.
Absolutely.
Donnalee, I want to look at the sentiment around strong women. We've seen a lot of people being drawn to those types of storylines lately, and you're one of 5 women featured in this film, and you lead with other strong women. How important was that for you to play a role such as that?
Very important. I'm very passionate about women coming into their own right, and we actually started developing on Stroomop 3 years ago, and never in a million years would we have ever thought that 3 years later, in the same year that we would make and release our film, that women worldwide would be swimming upstream and going, this is who I am. I am not just going to conform to the norm. I am not going to just allow worldly perceptions to define me. I am going to be brave enough to swim upstream and go, this is who I am, and this is my voice. And
it's so relevant considering what we're seeing happening right
Absolutely.
now. I mean, coming from Hollywood, but also just locally in the film industry with women just taking the lead in terms of the arts. Let's look at the themes around the film. It explores everyday themes, self-discovery, forgiveness. We spoke about bravery a little bit earlier on, and courage. Why those themes?
I think we wanted to create characters and themes that people can relate to, identify with, and I think those are the obvious ones, and they're obvious and stereotyped for a reason, because they hit home, and so we never wanted to preach, and we never wanted to say this is the solution to these problems. We just wanted to hold up a mirror, and so people can look at the film and identify with these characters and feel with these characters. We wanted to write a film where, and we've been guilty of that as writers and producers as well, with previous films where there's always a male that saves the woman. No, nothing against guys, and I'm a guy myself, but we wanted to make a film and tell a story where women are their own heroes in their own story, where they don't need a guy to...
Because they really are.
Because they are.
Every single day of their lives.
And the crazy thing is, you guys, you ladies, you women have been your own heroes for many years. It's just...
hasn't been portrayed.
Us guys have only caught up now, sorry.
Look, Yvonne, you've just scored like 100 brownie points for saying that.
I agree.
What I love about the both of you is that you're actors, but also you're writers and producers. You're able to essentially create work for yourselves. How important is it for artists to be able to say, look, maybe the doors aren't opening, but we're going to create some work for ourselves?
I think at the end of the day, it's about the artists, but it's also who are you creating the work for. We're very passionate about the fact that the most precious gift that anyone can ever give you is their time. So if someone gives you an hour or 2 hours of their time to read your book, come to your show, see your film, listen to your music, it's your responsibility to be able to give them worth for that gift that they've given you. So we're very passionate about being storytellers and responsible for all the elements of our film, because we want to give you something that speaks of quality.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but look, I'm excited about Stroomop, especially what you had to say about the strong women. So kudos to you for an amazing film, and thank you so much for joining us on Morning Lab.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, and you sorry, I know it's an Afrikaans film, but there's English characters and it's subtitled. It is a South African film. Firstly, happens to play off in Afrikaans 60-70%.
Look, South Africans watch Seven Delan.
Lovely.
We will definitely be watching Stroomop.
And on Women's Day. So that's the release date.
That's even more perfect. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
There you have it, a treat for Women's Month, and that's a film called Stroomop, a brainchild of Botha and Donnalee Roberts, who joined us in studio to tell us more about the flick that opens nationwide in cinemas on the 9th of August. Yes, that's Women's Day. We're back with more after that.